Hey everyone, Travis here on day 2, week 3 of the LCS, joined by Benny of XDG, fresh off of his win against CLG. Benny, you guys had to go up against the might of the resurrected Choster, and you came out ahead. How did you manage to do it?
We just put our heads in the game. Like we're like, yo, team, we've lost X amount of games in a row. I actually like try to block out the number of games because I hate losing. But I mean, we just stuck with it. We huddled. We won 1-2-3 XDG, and we just like we won the game.
Do you 1-2-3 XDG in front and before like the other matches?
No, this is our first time trying,
Okay.
and it's 1-for-1 so far. So we'll do it every game.
So 100% success rate on that. Talk to me about the Renekton pick. Why'd you go with that?
Like pretty much Renekton, we just picked him because he's really strong laner, and also we noticed yesterday that Nian picked them like first pick when they could, and so it kind of like denies that pick from them, and it's like a pick where I can do well on my own. Like I don't need jungler pressure, like because I'm not a weak laner early, so that's pretty much the logic behind it.
I was listening to the cast in the car on the way down here, so I was running a little late. Casters were talking about how you guys really went for bans against the champions that they played yesterday in their win. We actually have the TV on right now. It just turned on like a ghost. It's kind of distracting. So I think the video producer's going to get up and turn it off in the middle of this interview so we can concentrate. He's not moving. Anyway, we're just going to roll with it. So yeah, you went for bans on the champions that they had in the game yesterday that they won, but the casters point out it didn't seem like you were caring too much about the champions that they might have wanted to get instead of the ones they got yesterday because they were banned in the game yesterday. Did you take that into account? Were you like, oh, we're more concerned about this than like Choster getting Ziggs, for instance, or how did you guys strategize for the banning?
Also, the reason we banned Yasuo was because, like, well, even though Chowster didn't exactly win the laning phase yesterday, he didn't die in it, and he traded farm well with Voyboy. And then all he needed was one flank from Link and the Lulu ulti, and then he just got his ulti off, and then he's useful. So it was a mixture of that and us not like practicing enough against Yasuo. Like we either ban it or the enemy team bans it, or no one picks it at all. So like we have a lack of like practice time against Yasuo. So that explains Yasuo, and then
It was Vayne.
yeah, Vayne. It's obvious reasons. This is double lift, you know. One champ wonder. No, I'm kidding. He can play other champs. Wait, what was the third man we did?
Actually, I'm forgetting what the third ban was, and that's what's frustrating. But I feel less guilty for forgetting it than you should because you were actually in the game, and you discussed the bans probably, right?
That's shut up.
There we go. That was a close one. I almost looked bad, but I was able to push it all onto you. Okay. Other than that, that game, it seemed like they kept trying to pop back up and you'd bring them back down. Were you nervous a lot during that game? Were you stressed, or was it like, okay, we're good?
Like it. So in my head, we're good, but also we can't help but be stressed because once we get something, CLG answers back with like they out rotate us the whole game. Like they would always take free towers on us, and the only way we just won the game pretty much from picking them and like out team fighting them once we got a pick, and just from that we got a Baron and we just kept getting objectives, and yeah, that's pretty much how we won the game.
What do you think of these CLG rotations? Do you think that they're something that you guys can pick up from, or are you like, oh, whatever, they can rotate all day, we'll just beat them out anyway?
Like there should be no excuse for us to give them all that free stuff. Like it was probably like 3 or 4 towers combined in gold, and like maybe even a dragon if I remember correctly. But like if we're ahead and we are stronger at fighting and we have pick comps, so we shouldn't be able to give them all these free stuff. So it's definitely not acceptable, and we'll try to correct that later.
Okay, so now I have some tougher questions around the role swap that you guys did, which has been the topic of a big, or it's been a lot of conversation around this sort of situation, and one of the biggest things is it seems as though mandatory Cloud has fallen from the godlike mid laner he was without the extra pressure from McSmithy. A lot of people feel as though Zunan's not really providing that for him, and it's sort of making him drop back. Do you feel like that's a fair assessment of what has occurred there?
For ManCloud's performance, I would say it's a mixture of that, like being too comfortable having a jungler constantly behind them, and also just like the mid role, like the champion pool is like expanding constantly. Like they add Ziggs, Yasuo, like LeBlanc is in the mix again, and it's just more people for ManCloud to learn. including when he picked Yasuo confidently. That was when Curse picked Akali and like pooped on him. That was where he got all of his deaths. By the way, he was like 10 deaths at the end of the game. But yeah, just because like a mixture of those, it's just it takes time for us to like adapt to new champions and just do well with those champions. So I would say that's it for the most part. But like as far as the role swap goes, I wouldn't blame our performance, like or how we are. Like what are we 2-6 maybe?
Yeah. It's not looking like this was a good thing for you guys to grab this win.
Yeah, like we're 2-6, but I wouldn't blame the role swap at all. Like Smithy is doing really well, and Zuna, although like some games it looks like he's getting caught out or not, like he performs consistently as well. It's just like if our lanes are losing due to like just silly mistakes or just getting outplayed in general, you can't really blame the jungler for that either.
So there's no discussion being had right now about like what if we switch back or anything like that. You guys are holding steady on the role swap.
I mean, sure, the idea has just been like thrown out, as in like if we just laid out all the possible reasons for how we're doing right now, one would probably be like, was the role swap good or not? Right. And everyone on the team agrees that it has nothing to do with it. It's just us underperforming as a whole.
Very good. Other than that, what's it been like for you guys this season? I haven't had a chance to talk to you guys too much as we were talking about before the interview. So what's been going on behind the scenes with XDG? So like being at the studio, what is this season like for you guys compared to the last one outside of game?
Outside of game, I would say we don't. What do we really do? We eat a lot, but that's like the same as like last season. Like
so you guys are still eating a lot.
Yeah, we're eating a lot, putting on some weight and muscle. Not all. Well, me of course. Like I'm a pretty, stocky guy. Right, yeah. But aside from that, nothing's really changed outside of the game. Like we're still really good friends. And we're just enjoying ourselves.
Don't you guys have a new person come on board to help out the team?
Oh yeah. Totally forgot. No, I didn't forget about him. But so our manager is Julian now, as opposed to like Noam saying from last season. But she was switched more to like more of a PR focused role. The reason for that was because Noam or Christina couldn't really stay in the house with us due to like other personal like life stuff. So Julian was willing to live in the house, and it's been nice having like some cleanup after your shit. Yeah. Well, not literally. Like no one shits everywhere, but
so that's what Julian does. That's if you could sum it up, you're like it's been nice having him move in because he can clean up after us.
No, okay, so he doesn't really clean up after us, and we don't expect him to. I would feel like the role of the manager in the house would be getting people to get their own stuff done, like clean up after themselves. He's not a maid. And then like outside of that, like logistics stuff, like when are we getting showed up by Riot? When do we have to do interviews? What do we have to do for certain sponsors? Getting more sponsors. Like it's a lot of like responsibility on his shoulders.
Cool. All right, it's the end of the interview. I don't know if you know that, but it is because I decided it. So at the end of the interview, I always ask, if you have any shout-outs, plugs, anything you want to say. So I'm going to give you that opportunity now, Benny.
Okay, so start off, shout-outs to all the fans who watched, and shouts especially to the fans who were at the venue yesterday, and like after our loss, we still went out to do like to meet and greet. And then I think the first fan that came up to us was like, "Can I have a picture?" And we all agreed. And he's like, "I love you guys," and just like that small gesture helps a lot, especially because when we're down after a loss. So we definitely appreciate all the support or the tweets at us. Like you guys can come back from this. I know this. So shoutouts to the fans for their shoutouts to Travis and Marking for the interview. It's
Well, Marking didn't get up to turn off the TV, so I don't know if he deserves the shout out.
Don't talk to Marking like that. Yeah. So okay, and I guess I don't want to say I guess. Shoutouts to my friends supporting me, my family, like everyone who's watching, my brothers, Ken and Darren, mom, dad. Even though we're losing, they're constantly supporting us as well. Shoutouts to my lovely girlfriend, Sarah. What up, babe? And someone just opened the door really creepily.
You want to give a shout out to them?
Shoutouts to the creeper out there who just
knock on the door or on the wall. It's just rude.
Yeah, and everyone else at XDG. And am I forgetting anybody? Crap. I'm, just too excited. No, but
you have. Hope everyone has enjoyed this interview. You can check out the rest of our coverage of the LCS more at ongamers.com.